often scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Hao-Yu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
It's a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen.
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands, and ultimately controls its 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras.
We can't accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Zhou Aini are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Shame and worse. Huang Huijun lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools. The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it, something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it. Janice Mackey for
by busting what they say was a secret police station here in New York, run by the Chinese government, who they were monitoring and why. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas now.
Tonight, the FBI accusing the Chinese government of secretly operating a police station out of this unassuming building in the heart of New York City. The first ever case of its kind.
This case is a further example of the audacious activities that the government of China has carried out right here on American soil.
The FBI arresting these two men in New York City today, Lu Jiang Wang and Chen Jingping, accusing them of working under the direction of China's Ministry of Public Security. Their office near Chinatown claimed to be a non-profit organization providing assistance to local residents of Chinese descent, including to help them get driver's licenses. But the FBI says the station was a hub of Chinese counterintelligence operations in New York City, used to harass and intimidate dissidents who dared to defy China.
The secret police station appears to have had a more sinister use.
Officials say Lu allegedly tracked down and terrorized a pro-democracy activist living in California. In one stunning case, sources telling ABC News China is accused of having a secret operative inside the Zoom company and of hacking Zoom sessions.
Task force officers flooded the video conference and drowned out the meeting with loud music and vulgar screams.
Nicole, this is pretty alarming. Senior FBI intelligence officials telling News Nation today that they see these reports of secret Chinese police stations and Chinese tactics to intimidate dissidents as really reaching an inflection point. They say that lines are being crossed that haven't been crossed before, and that authoritarian countries like China and Iran are using new tactics like hiring private investigators to stalk people, even planning to kidnap people that they want to silence. So just this week, federal investigators in New York announcing the arrest of 2 U.S. residents accused of secretly working with the PRC to operate a Chinese police station in Manhattan. Now a Spanish-based human rights group, Safeguard Defenders, says there are more than 100 of these Chinese outposts in 53 countries across the globe. Here in the U.S., the group saying China has opened the police stations. Think of them more like spy offices in L.A., San Francisco, Houston, undisclosed cities in Nebraska and Minnesota, and New York City. The one connected to this week's charges closed after the FBI started investigating last year. So FBI officials would not confirm the existence of others of these police stations here in the U.S., saying that they can't comment on ongoing investigations. But they do say that one in New York that was operating in New York had a very specific goal, and that was to intimidate China's opponents here in the U.S. Some people living right by the one in Manhattan say they had no idea that it was operating, but frankly, they are not surprised.